Hi, I'm Anna here, getting ready to do the hike from Hetch Hetchy Reservoir to Lake Vernon, going the Beehive Meadow Trail-head. A lot of people like to do a loop. I just go straight in, make a base camp, and then I have a day pack in this giant pack that I just hike around to different destinations. Vernon's a great place to go because there's a couple of cross-country lakes right above it that are pretty easy to get to if the river creek's not too high. There's good fishing all around the lake. And when the rivers aren't too crazy like they are this year, there's great stream fishing. So you can have literally 3 days of different fishing in one location without having to keep breaking camp and going. You can just day hike to where you want to go and spend more time enjoying leisure, which is what I like to do. The first thing I will tell you, if you're going to do this hike up Beehive Meadow and go up the switchbacks, you'll want to start before the sun comes out. If you start hiking when the sun, because it's totally exposed, you're going to hate life because it's going to be so hot. Back in the 90s, that's one of the only times I got heat exhaustion, and I had to stop for like an hour and sit in the shade and drink water. The trail was shaking, but it was on those switchbacks because we tried to start hiking at like 11 o'clock in the morning. Another thing that you want to do is, what I would recommend is, you put your bug spray and everything on right away, because it starts out dry going up the switchbacks, but when you get up to Beehive Meadow, it is like, oh God, they're coming in, they're ringing the dinner bell triangle. Those mosquitoes are just swarming up there usually. This year it's wet, and there's a bunch of mosquitoes flying around me right now. When you get up in that wet marsh, it's going to be ugly. So that's what it's going to be. One clip you'll never see me do is how to pack a light pack. The only clip I'm qualified to do is how to pack everything plus the kitchen sink and more. Don't take any advice on me on packing my pack, because I don't know. I have stuff in there I don't even know that's in there, I'm sure by now. So we're gonna start hiking. The sun's not out yet, and we're gonna try to get above that. And I'm just gonna try to give you highlights of each part of the hike so that you can just kind of see what you're getting yourself into. It's a difficult hike. You do about 7 miles uphill before there's any glimmer of flat or anything good. It's ugly, but the reward is unbelievable. Lake Vernon sits in this glacier-carved valley. It's just beautiful. There's streams, and it's all granite, and it's wonderful. Another option, if you take a left on the trail, is Laurel Lake, and that's a very different lake. It's heavily forested right up to the water's edge, and it's really beautiful. It's something that if you have a couple of days and don't mind breaking camp and going to different locations, you might want to check that out. So let's get to hiking. So we're coming to the tunnel at the dam, O'Shaughnessy Dam, on our trek to Lake Vernon. I can tell you, this right here is the last fun part for a while. Is this tunnel. I love this tunnel. But anyway. All right, the party's over. We had our fun tunnel. So we've hit the switchbacks. Basically, it's uphill back and forth for about the next 4 miles, I'd say. The beginning of the switchbacks is about 2 miles in from the trailhead. See, we're well above the lake now, and not much more to say than there's a lot more uphill. So we're making good headway on these switchbacks. Get an idea of the kind of elevation gain we've made it so far. We're gaining ground. I'm with my cousin Lance here. He's powering ahead. Look at him taunting me with his youth. We'll see how you feel later. So, you know, this is a trail best enjoyed when you're hiking out after you've eaten all your food and your pack's lighter. But we're making it. Well, shouldn't be, we're about halfway up the switchbacks right now. And then here's the dam. We're getting up here. So I'll check back in later. Getting some good elevation. My cousin Lance is holding up pretty good on his first backpacking trip. It's really getting beautiful. Down below, it's a lot of oak, you know, in the lower elevation. Now we're getting up into the pine trees. It's really beautiful. We're thousands of feet above the lake now. Of course, I picked a spot to film where you can't see the lake anymore. But pressing on. So we're getting close to the top of the switchbacks. This is why I made a point at the beginning to say, start your hike early, because the switchbacks are totally exposed. But when you get to the top, you see here, you got a lot of forest cover and you got a lot of shade. So if you can stay in the backpackers campground and start hiking around 6:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock, you're gonna love yourself, because now there's just a breeze. You know, it's hot, but I'm not feeling it where we are right now. So that's a good thing, because right now I'm so tired. It feels like there should be some dude behind me whipping me to make me go faster, because I'm suffering so much. So here we go. There's our sign.
6.4 miles.
6.4 miles, so we've already gone about 5 miles. And if you're going for something easier, Laurel Lake is 4.3 miles from here. It's a beautiful lake, but for me, not as spectacular as Lake Vernon. So we're up there, we've done the switchbacks, and we're on our way. So about 6 miles in, and we've hit our first downhill. It's short-lived, but I'm gonna take it. Look how beautiful this is up here. See, now we're up in the forest. There's a creek going. My cousin's powering, he's holding up good. Oh. I'm just thinking about swimming in the lake and catching trout. It's all I'm focused on right now. That and the ground. Looking at the ground seems to be the only thing I can do, because I'm concentrating so much on just getting to the next rock, the next log. But I just wanted to share the glee of being able to walk on flat ground for a couple of minutes, because it's about to get really nasty up here. Oh. So once you get about 6 or 7 miles in, you finish the switchbacks and you hit a lot of this stuff that's just got a good grade, and you're going uphill. Eventually we're gonna have to cross that ridge up there, and that's not gonna be any fun. I think we got about 2 more ridges to cross. So the whole thing here is just slow and steady, and you just want to just, you know, you don't want to race up there. I can set up camp and go swimming at 3 just as easy as I can do it at 1. So here we go. But I mean, it's beautiful. The birds are chirping. You know, the landscape around me is unbelievable. There's wonderful forest. If I just had someone to carry me, that would be perfect. Unfortunately, I don't have that. I don't have anyone carrying me, so I gotta just keep going. Lance is up there powering ahead. He's doing his thing, but we'll make it. So it's sections of the trail like this that have these beautiful flowers, yellows and purples and buzzing bees, which I don't care for very much, but it's flat, it pays off, and it's really just gorgeous. Beehive Meadows, a much larger area when you get up around that area, but this is after a lot of hard work and suffering, it's nice to get this. This is truly a treat to get to walk through this little section of trail. It's beautiful. I think we're about 7 miles in. We probably got about 4 miles to go. So we'll stick with it. Well, I don't know how well you can see it. We're gonna say goodbye to Hetch Hetchy Reservoir. It's way down in that valley. We've come up a few thousand feet at least. And we're making good progress. But I just wanted to give you an overview. The great thing about these hikes, wow, there's a plane flying through the valley. Look at that plane, Lance. Oh, he was buzzing right through that canyon. Cool. The cool thing about these hikes is the perspective is constantly changing. So you go from one beautiful vantage point to the next, and I can just never get enough of it. It's my main thing to keep in shape is so I can just keep coming to places like this. Extraordinary places that Americans have enjoyed for over a century. Native Americans, thousands of years. It's just wonderful. Really just makes you just be glad to be out here. Ooh. But let's get back to the hard work. So there's a lot of this on the trail. It's uphill, uneven, where you're stepping up a lot of stuff, and it can be rough. But it is what it is. That's why we hike to the places we hike. Pay the price and we get the big reward. But we're making it. We're making progress, and it's good. If you have allergies, like I do, bring some really good allergy medicine, because these flowers are killing me. I took some, but it's not really working. Oh, there's the reservoir again. It's way down there now. Those towering peaks that you see when you're on the reservoir are below us now. So it's truly beautiful up here. Oh, birds are chirping. Oh, you can hear a stream running up here somewhere. Oh, it's nice though. So we passed some hikers and they talked about bear encounters. So we're getting up into the forest, and then it's a late snow year. There's probably going to be bears up here. So when you're going along the trail and you see big brush like this, keep talking. If you're with somebody on the trail, every now and then let out a hey, you know, especially when you get around big brush like this, because if you got a mother and its cubs in there, it could be an uncomfortable situation with a giant pack on your back. So just got to remember, even though you're on the trail, you're still in the wilderness. And just like we like shade and under trees and behind rocks, there's a lot of blind spots. You just will always want to stay on your toes. I mean, rule of thumb, you always want to be alert and deliberate in everything you do when you're in the wilderness. So, but we're getting closer. Just wanted to bring that up because we just came along all this big brush and someone just told us that they saw some bear up in Lake Vernon, so figured now's as good a time as any to bring that up. But see that high brush right there? That is totally the kind of stuff you got to watch out for when you're fishing, when you're going through there. I always like to have a nice loud conversation on the trail every now and then. Hey, what's going on? You know, if you got a whistle, maybe give that a pop every now and then. Because if they hear you coming, they're most likely going to get away before you even know they're there. And that's what I want. I want them to go away before I know they're there because I'm a scaredy cat. This is one of those sections of trails that looks a lot better than it feels. But we're still getting closer. We're still pressing on. Oh. And just got to get over this ridge here. I think we got this ridge, and I think we might have one more big ridge before we drop down into Lake Vernon. I think I don't care how cold the water is. I think I'm going in. Things are opening up a bit. We're getting up into the high country. You know, if you're gonna do this hike, you just gotta know there's a little bit of a price to pay coming in, but it's beautiful. Oh, wait, what's this? A little downhill. Hey. Inside I'm having a party right now. So as you're getting up to, you know you're getting close to Vernon, we've approached this last ridge. And it's nasty. It's like a punch in the stomach. But we're almost there. So if you get to this point where you go through the meadow for a while and then you hit this ridge, you're getting close. Because once you get to the top of the ridge, you're just descending down into this glacier carved valley, and it's really nice and it's a little bit more enjoyable. So I got to get there soon because I'm almost done. So we've crossed that final ridge, and now we're coming down. Once you cross that final ridge, the last 2 miles, when you see that sign, 2 miles to Lake Vernon, you're pretty much gonna go downhill most of the way. Because now we're just gonna drop down into this U-shaped valley, and you can see glimpses of the granite expanses, and the topography changes drastically. It goes from this forest to the wide open granite. You can see it peeking through over there, but this is pretty much it. We got about 1.25 miles to go, and I'm ready for lunch and maybe a nap. You think you're so excited to do things. I think I'm excited to sleep. But anyway, I'll get back in when we get down in that open area because it's extraordinary. But I just wanted you to know, if you do make this hike, if you get to that last 2 mile marker, you've pretty much gotten to the point where you're cruising downhill and you can see that granite peeking through. It's saying, come walk across me. So it's good stuff. So once you enter this valley, here's my cousin Lance. It's just wide open, it's just gorgeous. You can see where the glaciation happened. And it's a completely different scene. Like if you go to that Laurel Lake, the forest goes right up to the water's edge. This is a great lake to sit and bask and swim, and you know, if you got the willpower to make it up there, then you're looking good. You can enjoy it. So you know, you just got to make it up that first push. I will say this: the hike out is nice. Just eat all your food and go, because I don't do the loop. I go straight in and straight out. You know, we're going to spend the next 3 days fishing and relaxing. And so when you're going out, it is just like, it's like the scene from The Sound of Music. You're just skipping down through the meadows on your way out. It's so nice because there's barely any uphill. That first 2 miles that we just came down, and then it's all sailing. So, all right, we'll be to the lake soon. There he is. Hey! Hey! Yeah, he's curious. Let's keep going. Hey! Get out of here! There he is. There's your bear. There's your bear experience right there. Get on out of here! That thing right there will rip your arms clear off. Now he was right behind this blind spot on the trail though. That thing could be on you in 2 seconds. So we promptly got the hell out of there. I pushed it a little bit because I wanted to get a picture of him, which is the way people get killed. but we saw him once we